Hi guys, it's Hani here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be making delicious and super festive cake roll. This is a pumpkin cake roll filled with cream cheese, walnut, maple filling. So let's get started. To make the pattern for the leaves, you're gonna be needing room temperature butter, all-purpose flour, powdered sugar, egg whites, and a little bit of vanilla extract. Beat the butter until smooth, then add powdered sugar and continue beating until all combined. For the measurements for this particular recipe, be sure to check out the description box under the video. I'm including a full recipe down there. Now beat in the egg whites and then gradually add all-purpose flour. Now divide the batter into 3 portions and color each portion with food coloring. I'm using orange, yellow, and red. This is the baking sheet that I'll be using, and because it's not gonna fit in my freezer, to support my parchment sheet in the freezer, I'll use a cutting board instead. Now secure your parchment sheet onto your work surface. To make the leaves, we're gonna be using really simple stenciling technique. I cut out a piece of plastic sheet and then I cut out a cute little leaf using an X-Acto knife. So take a little bit of batter and then using a small spatula, spread the batter over the opening and then carefully lift it up. You want to add a thick layer of batter there. I found out that if you're using a really thin layer, it tends to peel off after baking. And then just work with different colors. You're gonna need to wipe your stencil and spatula, so use a clean, damp paper towel to do that. Once you're done with making the leaves, you're gonna have to freeze this for about 20 minutes. And now onto the pumpkin cake roll. So I'm gonna be using pumpkin puree, granulated sugar, along with some brown sugar, 3 whole eggs that I separated. You're also going to need all-purpose flour. For the spices, I decided to use cinnamon. Of course, I love cinnamon. I'm using sage and cinnamon. Also some freshly grated nutmeg and a little bit of ground ginger. I'm using also some baking soda, baking powder, and a little bit of salt and vanilla extract. First, we're going to beat the egg whites with a little bit of salt until foamy, and then gradually add about half of the granulated sugar. Beat the egg whites on high until you have stiff peaks formed. Now stir together flour, spices, baking powder, baking soda, and salt, and set aside. Beat the egg yolks with granulated sugar, remaining granulated sugar, and then you can also add brown sugar and beat until pale in color and doubled in volume. Now you can add pumpkin puree. Make sure you scrape the bowl. And now we're gonna put everything together. So I'm going to add flour into the egg yolk mixture, alternating with meringue. We're gonna fold everything in. You don't want to stir, you want to use a folding method. You can see it here, I'm folding. And once you fold everything together, we can spread this on a baking sheet. So I'm going to spray my baking sheet with non-stick spray. Then it's time to take out the parchment sheet out of the freezer. Take a long spatula and spread it evenly onto your baking sheet, and then we're gonna bake this off in the preheated oven at 350 degrees of Fahrenheit for about 12 to 15 minutes. Once baked while still hot, release the edges using a small spatula, or here I'm using my bowl scraper. This is a silicone bowl scraper. Now dust parchment paper with some powdered sugar and dump the cake onto the parchment. Now peel off the top. Oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? I love this look. I love fall leaves, although I don't like cleaning them up in the backyard, but on a cake roll I think they are pretty cool. And it's a lot less work. We don't have to use a not snow blower, the leaf blower. So now it's time to roll this cake, and then we're gonna let it cool completely, and then we'll make the delicious filling. I absolutely love this filling. It's so yummy. I also like to wrap it in a kitchen towel just so it's sturdier. For the filling, we'll be using room temperature butter, a little bit of pumpkin puree. You can also use fresh pumpkin puree that you made if you have that on hand. Cream cheese, powdered sugar, a little bit of heavy cream, and roasted walnuts. So I put these in a pan, I roasted these for about 5 minutes, and then I let them cool and I chopped them up. Super simple. If you prefer pecans, be sure to get the pecans in the store. I love walnuts myself. I'm also going to add some vanilla extract and maple flavoring. Super yummy. So let's get started and put this together. So we're gonna beat the butter until creamy and then gradually add cream cheese. Beat really well after adding each block of cheese, because you'll end up, if you don't beat it too well, you'll end up with little bits of cheese and it's not very tasty. Then you can add powdered sugar. Start on low because you don't want to have a powdered sugar explosion in your kitchen, and then you can increase the speed as you go. Now I'm adding the pumpkin puree. Scrape the bowl a few times. Now I added 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Beat well after each addition, and now we're adding vanilla extract and also several drops of maple flavoring. Now it's time to stir in the walnuts. Now take the cake roll and unroll it and peel off the parchment. This is the most stressful time of the whole cake roll thing because I'm always worried it's gonna break in half or tear. It does tear occasionally, but I try not to stress about it too much because it's a cake and it's meant to be eaten, so sometimes things don't go always perfectly smooth. But this time it didn't tear or anything, so that was great. So now we're just gonna spread the filling and then roll it again. Now I like to refrigerate the dough before serving overnight, or at least for several hours. So here I'm wrapping it in a clear plastic wrap and I'm going to stick this in the fridge. Once ready to serve, you can just peel off the wax paper and put it on your serving tray. It's really delicious, soft, and the flavors of fall really come together nicely in this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in a comment section down below, and here are more pumpkin recipes that you can check out on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. and I will see you next time.